Hi everybody, it's Craig here. I'm running a day behind at this stage. I didn't film an Arduino Advent Calendar activity yesterday, so it's December 17, but the activity that I'll be doing is for December 16, and it's all about touch sensors. So I'm going to do that activity now, and then I'll directly follow it with the December 17 activity, so we're up to date. So without further ado, here is our 16th activity, touch sensor. The first thing we need to do, as always, is get the bag of the day, and this is bag number 16. Let's have a little look at what we've got here. Okay, we've got 3 prongs coming out here, pretty minimalist base, and we've got some things I can see ground, I can see out, see a few different pins there that we might connect to. So this will be our touch sensor, I believe. The first step says to connect to the touch sensor to the 5-volt. We can do that. And so that will be the VCC one here. Connect up and connect it to the, I'm looking at it from the wrong direction, 5-volt just over here. Okay, hooked up. Step 2, connect the touch sensor to digital pin 10. Put my chair in a bit. Okay, digital pin 10. Second pin. Going out to digital pin 10. It's not going in very smoothly. That seems to be okay now. Terrific. It's very loose. I'm actually going to use another one there. Sorry guys, just didn't quite feel right. Go from there. Oh, that's much better. Okay, excellent. And now we're going to connect the touch sensor to the ground. Let's just get, we'll try this again, this particular cord, just to see how it goes in another socket. Okay, so we're on there, and we're going to the ground, aren't we? Which is just next, we'll just use this one down here, ground. Oh no, now that's loose. I actually think this is not quite right. Let me just get another cord here. Just going to get the right sort. And this. There's actually quite a difference on the length for the one that I was trying to do that wasn't quite working. See, the length there is quite different. I don't know if this pulls out, but or it does actually. It does pull out quite a bit. Anyway, feels a bit loose, so I'll use this one here. No ground, hooked up to here. Oh, the light coming on here. All right, insert an LED into the breadboard. All right, one LED. Let's just pop that in with the short leg on the left-hand side. Terrific. And now we need a 220 ohm resistor on the breadboard in line with the LED's anode, or the longer leg. Red, red, black, black, brown, that's the one. 220 ohm. Okay, it's going to be in line here with the longer leg of the LED. And now we're going to connect our LED to the ground. So let's connect short leg side over to the ground. I'm going to be using here Which one is it? It's the analog side, which is over here. Okay, oh, look around here. Yep. Terrific. And now connect the 220 ohm resistor to digital pin 13. Let's do that. So it comes from the resistor side here to digital pin 13, right next to the ground. Ooh, we have light. We have a bright light. Let's see what this is all about. We've now got some code. And again, thanks to Peter Watling, who gave me a good suggestion of actually trying to interpret and predict what the code is going to do first. I do think that's a very good thing that I should try to do, in the same way that really this setup should be pretty second nature to me now in terms of 5-volt connection, ground connections out to the pins. That all makes sense now. So I think I could sort of hook this up with pretty minimal instruction. And looking at the code, so we can see, now this is where I improvise a bit. Touch equals 10, so that's the 10th, the analog, what's that, which, I know, so we've got, yeah, hooked up to pin 10, so the touch is hooked up to pin 10, and LED 13, so the pin for 13 is what's connecting up here to operate the LED. So that's okay in terms of what's the leads that are going in there, the cords. Okay, so we're going to look at the serial monitor on board 9600. Pin mode, LED pin output, touch input. So when the touch sensor receives input, the LED will have a reaction of some sort, turn on and off. It seems like I'm reading that there in terms of what the output's going to do. Let's put touch value. Oh, okay, no, so I'm sorry. So the touch is is the input, of course, because it's not giving haptic feedback to me. It's actually receiving my input, that's input, and the LED is receiving output. So it's projecting light. It's not like it's feeding information into the system. So it's giving output, and the touch is receiving input. And that's what the pins are receiving there, receiving and giving. Okay, I think that makes sense there, which is the setup. So this is that part of the code. And now when the touch value receives digital read, so touch, when it's touched, the LED is going to be on high, which I think is when it's turned on. And otherwise, when the digital write for the LED pin is low, it will be low. The LED will be off or low when the touch sensor is not being touched. So on when it's being touched, and off when it's not being touched. And there'll be a delay of 500 milliseconds, I think that is, in between turning on and off. Is that right? In between, or it takes this particular gap in between when you can touch again, so you can't sort of be touching it on and off too quickly to maybe just wouldn't read it that accurately in that way. So let's see. I think that makes sense to me as to what the code is going to do there. So I compile the sketch, uploading, done uploading. Okay, that worked that time. Okay, so my LED is off, and if I touch the touch sensor, it goes on, one finger goes off. So that will be the 500 millisecond delay is when I touch. Well, that was instant. Finger off. Well, that does feel very instant. But there is a slight gap there, you can see. So let me see, if I change that 500 to 1500 and upload that, let's see, when I touch, there's a gap. When I take my finger off, it turns off. When I touch, I think that's more of a gap than last time. Yeah, and then, so if I were to make a delay of 100, would that be almost automatic when I tap? Yeah. Yeah, cool. Okay, so I understand that part of the code and the other parts too, in terms of the on and off. So that's great. It's a very nice little touch sensor, very neat. And I'm tapping underneath. So I can tap underneath. So I can actually tap anywhere underneath. And on that side too. Cool. Like a nice little Morse code machine, isn't it? Do, 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 do. Yeah, brilliant. All right, well, that's our touch sensor activity. That was fantastic. Lots of fun. I think I read the code better this time and understood more of what that was doing before we actually got into the activity. So that was a good little learning lesson. And yeah, all the connections made sense too. So that was fun. I'm going to just complete this recording, and then I'll be back in a moment with activity 17 for December 17. So I'll see you in a moment.